Hello, my friends. Welcome to Monday's Loops and Scoops. I wanted to share a couple of thoughts that I've been having as we're getting started today. One is that, as many of you know, who especially those of you who come regularly, what we're really about is the how of consciousness. So the how of moving from fear to love, the how of making connection. And I'm delighted with how many people we have coming on. Boodoo, boodoo, boodoo. That's great. Um, and one of the things that occurred to me about love scoops, I'd love for you to just take kind of take an energetic reading of your body right now and your energy level. And you can come at it from either what's my stress level right now, or what's my aliveness level. Or if you want to really experiment, do both. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 would be, or 0, with stress would be just cool, and 10 would be and aliveness would be the reverse. So I want you to make a little note, because sometimes when we're working through the body, the change happens so quickly that we don't have a reference point, and we have a sense we need to sometimes compare by contrast. So take a moment and just make a number for either your aliveness or your stress. So you have a baseline. So I'm going to give you a second to do that. And those of you who are viewing us, you can do that also. Lovely. Now, one of the things I've learned over many, many years is body comes first. We've been trained to think that mind comes first. And so part of our practice here is that body comes first. So even no matter how you are feeling or experiencing yourself, if you make the motions of the love scoop, you let yourself reach out in a way that involves your torso, and you even just pretend that you're scooping in love. And you let that come into any place that's feeling gritchy or flat or dense or and you let yourself receive it. So there are a couple of different parts. One is reaching out and actually scooping up. So make scoops. So if you were scooping up water, you wouldn't have your hands like this. You would want to scoop up. So you want to scoop up the love, and then you want to let it really land on any place in you. I mean, this is the traditional place. But you might find, like as I'm scooping, my shoulders are going, me too, me too. So reaching, scooping, landing, receiving. So I want you to do that. And you can also play with the pace. So you can scoop, but I want you to make sure you don't leave the landing when you scoop fast. So you get the reaching, scooping, landing, receiving. And play with what would be the most fun for you, because I was just doing a little airplane scooping, like when you're feeding a baby, I scoop and then I'm going, I'm coming in, there you go. So you can play with it, all of the different elements of reaching, scooping, landing, and receiving. Beautiful. So no matter how you're feeling, if you will let yourself do this progression, so now take a moment to notice your aliveness and stress levels. Yeah, so just take a moment and notice, have you made a shift in this? So that's something really valuable, not only for you, but for friends and clients. because they could come in like, nothing is working. I'm feeling so depressed or overwhelmed. And what we often do will then try to talk them out of that. That isn't a very successful way of operating. And if you just do along with them, the reaching, scooping, landing, and receiving, my prediction is that one or more of those four elements isn't being given full attention. And so as you go, like, did you feel like that just bounced off? You didn't really let that land? Then what it does is give attention to our whole body experience rather than living up here in our concepts. So when in doubt, move and move first, and that will allow you then to circulate. As I was remembering again, a phrase that I really love that I learned years ago from Andrew Taylor Still, who was the founder of osteopathy, is the rule of the artery is supreme. And that might sound like, duh. And what I take that to mean is that circulation is the foundation of health. Circulation. And when you think about the health of your relationship, are you or your relationships in your life? Are you circulating? Are you circulating connection? Are you circulating connection for you? Are you circulating appreciation? Are you circulating breath? So I think in all areas of life, the first thing I want to do, this even works for me if I'm untangling a necklace, because the circulation has stopped. And so what I do is start just jiggling and adding in a little bit of circulation. And it works super well for untangling. Mm-hmm. And I think it works super well for untangling for us in general. So that's part of movement, but also then the circulation of your attention. And I see more and more attention being given to attention, which to me is wonderful, because attention is a nutrient that, as you've heard me say, that we need as much as food and water. So you probably have already had some food and water today, but have you had some nourishing attention? Have you circulated your attention? So I wanted to, what was occurring to me is a prop that I've used before, which is a fan, which had so many uses back in the day. And so many women, not men, this is a woman's tool, all of the different ways that one could use a fan. But for me, what I want to use this for is actually fanning and focusing. So that's also what fans can be used for, is to emphasize a point. But it's a focused point. So there's fanning your attention and there's focusing your attention. And I want to play with both of those with you today. So I want to start with fanning. So when you fan your attention, you can fan it out. So go ahead and try that you're letting your attention go out as a fan, letting it fan across the space in front of you, and then letting it fan back to you. So, particularly in the South, the fanning creates a different kind of lovely circulation. So I'm feeling that, the breeze. So imagine your attention fanning like a breeze, that it's creating this lovely circulation of attention, both out in the world and then coming back to you. And you might find a particular place, like my cat loves to have this certain place under her chin tickled. Is there a place that you particularly would like some attention fanned to you? Beautiful. And so play with that a couple of times of fanning out. So you might think, oh, well, that's nice, but how can that be useful? I use fanning attention when I'm driving. So when I fan my attention out in front and then I fan it out in back. So I'm just regularly, I shift it to fanning in front and fanning in back. And I think I've avoided 5 or 6 accidents with that skill alone. And fanning your attention also lets you know what's going on out here, what's going on in here. So let yourself notice, do you like to fan out this way? Do you like to fan across? Do you like to fan like sweeping? So let yourself play with the different kinds of fanning motions. Do you like to let your fanning happen quickly? Do you like to do kind of a slow fan? And almost always our attention these days is going to be drawn out. So make sure that you bring that fanning and that delicious breeze of your attention back to you. Yeah, favor you. Now, the combination of fanning and focusing is very powerful because sometimes you want to really let your attention land. Like there's a certain thing, our 2 cats, Allie and Greta, our 2 British short hairs, have this little interaction that they used to do a lot. And because of our use of attention, they don't do it as much. They get into pre-biffing mode. They sort of both get kind of, and their ears go back and they kind of, they're about ready to do a little tango with each other. And that's where I use my focused attention. So I focus my attention toward them and I go, girls, girls. And I get their attention and I go, oh, good girls, good girls. And I change the tone and they leave each other. And so it's been very successful, especially in the last couple of months. And they actually now will sometimes come up and groom each other rather than come up and biffing. So it can have a lot of impact when you want to just focus your attention and kind of boom, that can be very powerful. So I'd like you to actually take your fanning attention, take it out and then focus it. So send it out and then focus it toward some area. Like I'm focusing it toward a pittosporum tree in the front yard and just noticing that it's grown about 15 feet in the last year. And then bring that fanning and then focus and let your body tell you where it wants to have you focus. The fanning and the focus back toward you. So my focus is right at the bottom of my ribs in my back, where my spine and my ribs meet. My body is wanting a little attention there. And so when I give a focused attention, my body responds. I can feel it expanding and wanting to move a little bit. But the important thing is that I'm bringing my awareness and my attention in a focused way to land. It's an attention way of doing love scoops. So imagine that your attention is circulating, scooping, landing, and being absorbed. And you start with your arms because that involves your whole body. And then you can do it just with your attention. So I want to invite you to do that again, focusing, fanning out and then focusing. And it would be as if you were then delivering a drop of love in just the right place. Fanning, focusing, delivering the drop of love. And then fanning, focusing, and delivering a drop of love. My right shoulder wants a drop of love. So I'm going to pull that in. Ding. Letting myself receive it. And then I'd like you to take a moment to do this with the group I'd like you to fan out so that you're noticing people in the group, you're letting your attention fan. And then I'd like you to pick somebody that you don't know. And I'd like you to focus your attention and deliver a drop of love to that person. Boing. You could even have a little ding or your own special sound for boing. And then I'd like you to fan again and focus, deliver a drop of love to you. I'm going to deliver a drop right at the bottom of my throat. And then fanning out again, finding somebody else in the group you don't know, focusing, delivering a drop of love. Boing. Wonderful, wonderful. And then, of course, let's come back and end with you. So fanning and then focusing, delivering a drop of love to you. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, take a moment and notice now your stress level and your aliveness level. Have you made a difference in your stress level and or your aliveness level? So for me, what that says to me is practice, just practice, practice. That's all. That's all we're doing was practicing. Yeah. So thank you for practicing with me today. I so appreciate this way of starting the week. It just, so I feel also kind of, yeah, lovely, lovely. So I look forward to seeing you next time. And I'm going to take my leave now. And Darlene, thank you so much for hosting today. And I'm going to leave you with Darlene to chat if you wish to. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah.
Thank you, Katie.